guys and gals, and everybody here from Drake Wing Gaming, and something on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Stranded. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Seems fine to me.
I understand, You sure you don't mind me helping, Barrow?
Of course, the more the merrier. If there's anything I can help, just call my name.
Got it.
Will you two be alright together, though? We'll be fine. I learned a thing or two about survival and camping basics from my dad.
If that's the case, then should we go now, Barrow?
What? Right now? Can't we sit for a little longer? Barrow groaned as he plopped his body onto the ground in retaliation. Lucy turned around and flashed Barrow a toothy smile, which slowly widened into a malicious-looking expression.
Barrow, we probably should go now.
Barrow froze up, his white fur turning a paler shade than it should engulfed. Yes, ma'am. Barrow meekly replied before standing and trailing behind Lucy. That one might be a serial killer. It was quite a show, witnessing a large creature getting tamed by such a small rabbit. The scene which unfolded continued to play in my head like a broken record, while my eyes could only stare in disbelief at the both of them as they walked further off into the distance. Kim and I were only silently standing by until a familiar voice came out unexpectedly.
Well, you have a lot of fun.
I got some fish to catch. Smell you later? Owen said, brandishing a crude yet sturdy homemade fishing rod. It looked more like a stick with a fishing line affixed at the end. On his other hand was the last of our canned food, which was to be used as bait. Wait, smell you later? Was that a Pokemon reference? Alright then, Owen. Stay safe. Wait, where'd you get the fishing line?
I found it and created this cool-looking fishing rod. I just had to show it off before taking it out in the field.
The otter said, like a used car salesman trying to sell us the deal of a lifetime. You found it?
Ah, well, it was worth a shot for compliments.
Wait, what? What did he say?
Anyway, yep, found it, and I have fun, you two. Bye!
Owen hurried off towards the edge of the beach without giving us a chance to respond.
Wait, what do you mean you found it, Owen?
Let's just ask him later when we get back. And he better bring home some fish or there will be hell to pay. We wasted enough time ourselves. Time to get to work. I turned to look at Kim and smiled. It was just the two of us now. Despite his usual calm demeanor, something about him just felt a bit off today, and the cause of it was likely Terry or me.
Alright, would you mind taking the lead?
Sure, I'll lead. Try to keep up, alright? Kim replied in a joking manner, smiling in my direction before making his way into the forest in the opposite direction of Lucy and Barrow, pushing aside stray branches and leaves as I followed at the rear. So, coffee time. Our journey had been quiet and uneventful so far. The surrounding foliage was rather tame and easy to navigate, with rays of sunlight shining through the canopy and brightening up our passage. We pressed on and busied ourselves scavenging any fruits of the wild that we came across. Berries, bananas, and leaves comprised the bulk of our gathering. It was getting a bit harder and harder to carry all these bounties at some point with so little hands. While I didn't know a lot about what I was collecting, Kim assured me that whatever I had laid my hands on was edible. While my mind found some measure of respite during this peaceful interlude, the silence between both of us was excruciating. The birds were chirping and the leaves were rustling gently in the breeze. Yet deep inside, I felt a sense of unease as a cold weight descended onto my chest until... You've been glancing at me a lot lately. Am I really that attractive to you?
No, I
blabbered out as Kim's voice yanked my own thoughts back to reality.
About you and Terry.
I asked while brushing through the greenery in front of me for berries, facing away from him. I already assumed that's what you want to know.
I'm sorry.
The logical side of me wanted to simply apologize and be on my way, yet the caring side of me wanted to know more. And what about it? He replied, as calm as he always has been, giving me a chance to ask this time.
What happened between you and Terry?
He said some stuff about me, telling me that I was being power-hungry or something like that. I waited for the rest of his story, but I only heard rustling. Kim must have gone back to minding his own business. I looked back to face him only to be met with his back turned towards me, so I wasn't able to see his face. From the way he said it, he sounded normal, yet his reply left a lot to be desired. The atmosphere just didn't feel right, as if the calmness was his way of deflecting the issue or changing the subject. What did he say? I asked him again, prodding at the belly of the beast that had just been coaxed out of its dormant state. Feelings of uneasiness began to make me reevaluate what I said, but uncertainty persuaded me to strike while the iron was hot. He called me possessive because I was taking control of the situation too well, that I had some hidden intentions and stuff, he said, gripping the branches of the berry bush. I couldn't see his expression, but there's a slight tremble in his voice. I'm not like that. Am I? He asked me, letting out a nervous crackle amidst his candid confession. I let out a sharp exhale, finally done with my patch of berries. At some point, Kim and I went on our separate way to find what more bounty the forest had to offer. Okay. 1 second, y'all. It is coffee time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's jump back in. Okay. Though we made sure not to wander too far away from each other, I still didn't know if Kim would take my words to heart and choose reconciliation or aggravating an already strained relationship with Terry. But I'd sown the seeds of forgiveness, and all I could hope for was that it would change things for the better in the future. When we finished our gathering and managed to collect quite the bountiful harvest of our own, using the jacket Kim handed to me for use, I turned it into a makeshift sack. The corners were folded and pinched to be able to support the weight of the items we secured, and then tied to the end of a sturdy branch while I snapped off a tree. Oh, way to go, superstar! I knew you could do it! My ear flicked as I heard a familiar voice while I was tying the jacket to the branch, looking up to see the source of that voice. Oh yeah. I see you've been working hard. Holy beautiful daddy. Are you doing okay there, bud? You look red.
Yeah, I'm good.
Uh-huh. My eyes are up here, buddy. Curse my raging unfiltered hormones.
Forget about me. Why are you shirtless?
Well, we gathered so much stuff that I did another bag, so I used my shirt. Plus, you have my jacket, remember?
I didn't think this through.
It's fine. I got to see our cute little interaction.
Someone please end me,
I said, feeling my blood gush under my cheeks after being teased by Kim, wanting the ground to swallow me whole, away from this embarrassing moment. So, shall we head back now? He said, with his big, stupid, dumb smile plastered all over his face. I stared at the ground, trying to avoid looking at Kim in order to hide my flustered face.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
I blurted out, quickly picking up the branch and lifting it in the bundle over my shoulder to support it. The bulging bag made from Ken's jacket would be dangling, suspended in the air behind me whenever I took a step forward. I followed behind Kim and had my eye on the trail to ensure that our hard-earned reward did not end up on the ground. The sun was at its peak, beaming directly above us as we began to walk back to the site. Kim takes the lead with the bundle of berries wrapped in his own shirt trapped over his shoulder. Every now and then, Kim would fidget around with a tiny clump of berries in his grip to ease a sense of boredom. Do you think everyone would mind if I have some of these now? He asked me, looking down at his palms as the berries rested in his hands, rolling them around as its skin glistened in the sunlight. Don't you want to wait for the rest? Besides, how are you sure those are safe? I said while trailing behind him, stepping my feet over his own footprints casually. I was barely paying attention anymore to the road on our return trip. Step. Kim looked back at me after noticing that response felt delayed. I was too preoccupied with tracing over his footprints to notice Kim had already stopped walking. Alright. Bump! It was already too late to stop as I bumped my face on his back, snapping me back to reality. You should really pay more attention to your surroundings when you walk. You'll hurt yourself. Did you hear anything I said? I looked up at him, chuckling as I rubbed the pain away from my face. Yeah, I did. Look, if we make it there and no one's around, you can snack on a couple, right? Deal. I'm chowing down immediately when that happens, he says with a sly smirk on his face. Whatever, let's get back quickly, you dork. I said in the same teasing tone he did with me previously, moving forward and pushing his back to get him to move faster. He laughs and looks ahead, catching his pace as he got pushed before taking a few quick steps ahead of me. Alright, fine. Sheesh, sounds like someone really needs some berries. We kept walking for several minutes down the same path we took to get to where we were, standing at the same spot where we had spent the night around the fire Terry had made. Both of us looked around for any sign of the others, but to no avail. Huh, seems that we're the first to arrive. I suppose so. And you know what that means? He was already looking at me with a smug look, hands on hip. Like he was expecting for this moment. He really wanted them berries. Come on, we just got here. Can't you wait, like, a little longer? You come on. We've made a deal already. It's just a little bit. No one would mind, he said, pulling out the 2 berries he had tucked into his pocket, ready to shove it in his mouth. Like him. Alright, I get it. A deal is a deal. I sighed. Kim smirked and pulled out 2 more berries from his other pocket and handed them to me. I studied the berries in my hand and looked at him, confused. Wait, why are you giving them to me? Didn't you hear me earlier? Huh? What are you talking about? While you were busy chasing my footprints, I said that if I get to eat the berry, you're eating it with me. It wouldn't feel right to eat it alone since you're here. I wouldn't be a great leader if I did that. Oh, I didn't hear that at all. Yep, so we're gonna eat them together. Don't worry, I assure you that these ones are safe to eat. I studied the berries in my hand closely, not that I knew anything about it. Alright then. Then let's eat it together at 3. 1, 2... 3. We counted down and we popped the berries into our mouth on 3. The berries were strangely sweet and had a nice taste. See? I told you it's fine. Yeah, I'm sorry for doubting you. Both of us pile up on our bounty on a piece of banana leaf, along with other leftover resources that we have. Or I turned Kim's jacket back as he dressed himself back immediately. Adios, sexy abs. Oh, didn't expect you 2 to get back so soon. What was that? Oh, that's those 2, okay. Lucy and Barrow arrived at the camp not long after with mostly palm and banana leaves. For food, they had managed to secure at least 2 bundles of bananas, and Barrow was cradling as many coconuts as he could manage comfortably. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon, our YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!